This week we return to the stages of the Winmax Brake Pads Rally Otago, round one of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. With COVID restrictions lifted in the week before the rally start, the competitors were able to gather at the Dunedin Octagon, a chance to meet the fans and old friends before the rally start on Saturday morning. And lining up first, Hayden Patton.
Yeah, look, I'm expecting the competition to be a lot closer. We can see the amount of work everyone's been putting in the off-season, so it's great to see. But we're staying focused on what we're doing. I've got targets for each and every stage, and we can only control the variables that are at our hands and feet. So we'll just stay focused on that and try and do the best job we can.
You don't never sleep too well the night before. You drive a few of the corners and a few of the bumps and bits and pieces like that. But no, we'll be right. We'll concentrate on staying in the middle of the road as we always do, and hope for the best from there.
Looking forward to it. We've only done 2 rally sprints, only done 2 AK stages, so it's going to be the first version. It's a version car, so looking forward to it, mate. Yeah.
Straight out of the box, it's unreal. We've only made little slight changes to suit us, and yeah, can't wait to get out on some stages around Dunedin tomorrow and have Tony calling some notes.
Before the cars made it to the start line, it went to scrutineering. That's where the Motorsport New Zealand Technical Department steps in to check the cars meet the rules.
So all the championship cars need to be checked over for 2 main things. There's obviously the safety side and also performance. There's rules that the cars have to comply with, and this is where we check them out. Cars are weighed, turbo restrictors are checked, also things like safety belts, overalls, helmets. They're at a higher standard for the national championship level, and so that's all checked off to make sure that they meet the appropriate standards.
And it's not just Ben who has to adapt to a new car. His team have been building and running Subarus for over 20 years.
We've been with Subaru for a long time, so getting this new car is a new chapter. We haven't had to put a lot of work into it. It's mainly just going through it and just learning the car basically. Just understanding the car is the main thing.
So ready for the stages. 2 days, day 1 starting north of Dunedin at Palmerston, heading over to Macrae's Gold Mine, then to Middlemarch. Hayden Patton, first of the NZRC 4-wheel drive cars on the road. But of course the classic cars have run first, so well-swept stages for him to take advantage of the Hyundai's AP4 performance.
And while those classic cars have been in front of him, they do run very different lines. So although it's not a complete blanket of gravel, it's not perfect conditions for Hayden.
Robbie Stokes hoping to continue his great form from the 2021 season in the AP4 Fiesta.
Team 60 plus opens over crest, tarmac, braking 80, tidy 2 left at junction, curve 300.
And although this team had a lot of reliability issues early last year, they seem to get on top of those in the back half of the year and are going to be a real contender to watch in 2022.
Despite the dust being kicked up by Patton, Stokes was second over the opening stages.
Curve 180.
That wasn't clear.
You're not wrong there, Robbie.
All eyes on Ben Hunt this weekend. His Skoda is an R5 Evo, the same cars as the WRC2 class. 3rd overall in the morning, but look at how difficult it is with the dust and the sunstrike.
It's a horrible time to be learning a new car, and this car is completely different to the Subaru he's had. Left-hand drive versus right-hand drive. This is a small dynamic hatchback with a lower powered engine. The Subaru was big power and a big car to move around on the stages.
Emma Gilmore's had a fantastic year on the world stage as McLaren's first female driver, but now it's Suzuki time. 5th on stage 1, up to 4th on stage 2 behind Hunt.
And we've always known that Emma's had plenty of pace in this car. It's just been the reliability. I know the team's been hard at work over the off-season again at this, and hopefully they've found the magic cure. The other thing that wouldn't go amiss is a bit of luck. This is the 2nd season with Mel Peden sitting in this car, and they'll be looking to finally get to the finish of a championship rally.
Ari Pettigrew's on a new adventure in 2022. The BMW's in the garage, and this year he has the use of an ex-Murphy AP4 Holden, and he was fast out of the blocks. 3rd on stage 1, but dropping back to 5th over the morning stages. Rana Horan slowed on stage 1 but managed to get back up to 6th on stage 2. Todd Borden, the other brand new R5 Evo, this time a Fiesta.
Todd's been keeping match fit over the off-season racing in a McLaren GT car. Oh. You don't get that on the circuits though.
Not looking so new now, but still in 7th. Dylan Turner back on the stages a year after a massive crash at Otago 2021 inside the top 10. Kingsley Jones in 9th in his first generation R5 Skoda.
And although they run to the same rule set, there's just a few little niceties in the likes of the new Ben Hunt car.
And it's a warm welcome back to championship contender Glenn Inkster and Spencer Wynn in the Force Motorsport AP4 Mazda. Mike Young in the lone Subaru in the championship field this year.
And Mike lost some time in the opening stage with a throttle body issue. But he's absolutely flying here.
Duncan McCrosty is back in the second of the Force Motorsport AP4 Mazdas.
And this is a car with fantastic history. Andrew Hawkswood drove this car to the 2017 New Zealand Rally Championship title, the first for an AP4 car. It's great to see it still out on the stages.
Brian Green, rally sponsor, 52nd year in the sport. What more can you say than he's a legend? Jack Hawkswood debuting the Yaris AP4 with support from Toyota Gazoo Racing and Allied Fuels. Down on pace, but plenty of potential. Phil Campbell down on power in the morning stages in his Fiesta AP4.
And you can clearly hear that misfire. It sounds terrible. The crew's going to have plenty of work at the first service.
And not a great start for Matt Jensen and Matt Summerfield, both retiring on stage 1.
I'd say Toyota Yaris AP4 car that was built by Force Motorsport about 5 years ago. It's had a couple of owners in its life, but we've picked it up off the last owner and given it a big birthday, and hopefully it's ready to go for the year now. Back in 2015, there was sort of no future really happening in rallying in New Zealand. It was sort of year that ran your, your Evos and that sort of stuff, where you go and you spend $500,000 on an R5 car. And there's sort of no in between that old and that new, so Dad felt that there was something that needed to be done. So we designed a car from the ground up to match the R5 at a fraction of the price, and we did pretty well in doing that. So far we've done 18 AP4 cars. Most of them are here in New Zealand. A few of them are overseas though. I was driving the Mazda before this, and the main difference is just the wheelbase. But apart from that, it's essentially the same. All the AP4 cars, they run the same gearbox and drivetrain and suspension points and stuff like that, trying to make them pretty much exactly the same. We were trying to get Mazda to get involved for the WRC, and we've got this awesome stage here that they could really get involved with, but they didn't want to come to the party, and we just ordered some new fleet utes, and Dad and I were leaning over the front of a new Hilux, and we're like, I wonder if we should just give these guys a call. And so we rang up Amanda, and it's been, she was pretty good from the start, and that's sort of where it all started from. I really want to head to America. I think just sort of the way that like a lot of the media outposts and stuff over there are building up the ARA over there to, I think it's going to take off in the next few years, and I think that's sort of where I want to head.
So plenty of potential in that car to come. The stage is now around Middlemarch, and Patton was on a charge, but a broken axle slowed him, and Robbie Stokes closed back to within a minute in second.
And Robbie's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's keeping himself right there off the back of Hayden, so that if an issue like this occurs, he's there to take full advantage.
But it was Ben Hunt who won the stage, and he was now just over a minute behind Patton in third. Emma Gilmore also putting the pressure on Hunt, 15 seconds back.
And in fact, this whole battle group from 3rd through to 8th is intensely close. They're within a second a kilometre of each other at this early stage.
And 5th at this point, Ari Pettigrew in the Holden.
And you can't underestimate what a fantastic performance this has been from Ari so far. It's only his 2nd time in a 4-wheel drive car.
Stage 4, though, would see big changes. Ben Hunt having to crawl through the dust ahead of Robbie Stokes, who struggled to get out of the stage with a broken drive shaft.
I guess for the rest of the rally, seat time and then points tomorrow on offer, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're not giving up. No way.
All right, mate. Good luck. Cheers, mate.
So despite those issues, Patton holds a comfortable lead. But check out Emma Gilmore in 2nd, down to Todd Borden in 7th, covered by just over 30 seconds. Game on.
Stage 5, Shag Valley, a classic sprint stage. Conditions still dry and dusty. Patton in stage record breaking mode here too.
And along with defending a championship, Hayden needs all the time in the seat he can get before he heads over the Europe and takes on the WRC2 drivers in an R5 Hyundai. And this is just a graphic demonstration of how fast the roads are. Not quite sure if that was a cut in the notes or not, but Hayden's certainly committed.
Also committed, Hunt on a charge. He lost 45 seconds in Stokes' dust and dropped to 4th place.
But he was still within 20 seconds of 2nd place. It's all on at the top.
Repairs to the Fiesta between stages saw Stokes back on the stages, although only in the 2-wheel drive, so off the pace and down to 7th. And this was all good news for Emma Gilmore, now up to 2nd. And Rana Horan starting to pull back time in the Skoda, now up to 5th.
And for Rana, he doesn't have a heap of experience in Otago, so this sensible approach is paying off.
Dylan Turner's confidence growing over the day, posting times in the top 5. Todd Borden also finding form despite the slightly Mad Max look to the new car. But the performance of the day so far would have to be Ari Pettigrew in the AP4 Barina. 3rd overall, 1.4 seconds ahead of Hunt. Brian Green celebrating 10 years as the NZRC sponsor and having a good day too, but it could have turned to bad on this stage.
Whoa, I wouldn't be standing there if I was those photographers.
2 more stages to end day 1 of the opening round of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. And it's wildly fast through a wild, crazy landscape for Patton as he heads to the end of the day.
Certainly it almost looks like the landscape from Argentina where he won his World Rally Championship round. And like every good champion, he also had a bit of luck on his side.
High, long, flat 7 right, straightens into flat 7 left, 80, slow 6 right, delaminating, 40 left in the back, 6 right plus. What do you want to do?
And it's a return of some of the tyre issues we saw plague him and other Pirelli runners in 2021.
And obviously a drama at front left. Talk us through it, what happened?
Yeah, same issue as last year. Just a delamination about 10k from the end, so really backed off, just tried to manage it, and obviously it's come completely off the rim, so not what we wanted in the power stage.
No, how much time do you think it's cost you? Not enough to be a worry?
Oh no, definitely. We cruised for 10k, so I'm hoping we haven't lost a minute. Yeah, it's going to be touch and go on the power stage points.
All right, mate, best of luck tomorrow.
Cool, thank you.
Yes, stage 8, the power stage, so bonus points for the top 5 finishers.
And as well as those bonus points, it'd be great for Hunt's confidence in the new car to take the stage win. But despite that tyre issue, Fadden still managed a respectable 18:41.7 over the 37 kilometres. Ben's time? 18:57.9, second fastest.
Ben, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Hayden had a delaminated tyre in there, so he's dropped a stack of time. Good view, I guess, in terms of power stage points at the very least.
Yeah, no, we had a good crack through there. We made a few errors, but you know the tyres started going off pretty quick through. It's so dry and dusty, and yeah, but no, we had good fun, so enjoyed the day.
Overall, first day in this car, it must feel pretty good to get to the end and be in the space you're in.
Yeah, you know we got a lot to learn in it. It's you know completely different to anything else we've driven, and we had a ball in it, and I think the whole team's enjoying it, and yeah, just so great for Skoda and Gill Traps and everyone.
Yeah, sleep well tonight, mate. We'll see you tomorrow.
Cheers.
Ben's time not good enough for the stage win, but he did knock Emma Gilmore out of second place.
And it's great to see a day for Emma where everything actually went to plan. I think it's the first time we've seen her at the finish of a leg in over 2 years.
Emma, I think just doing some basic math, Ben might have got you in that stage, but overall I'm sure you're very happy with the day, yeah?
Yeah, happy with the day. We lost our brakes at the end there and hit pretty bad dust, so yeah, good to be here. No flat tyres that time.
Other than that, car's been great today, right?
Yeah, it's been great. Good fun.
Awesome. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Cheers.
Ari Pettigrew was fourth, but pipped in stage 8 by Rana Horan, back to fifth.
Oh, and he's lucky to get away with that. Just check this out. I think this is the culmination of all his off-road racing experience that helped him get away with that one.
Rana, the power stage, how did you attack that one? Did you push a little bit harder?
Was it the power stage?
I'll take that as a no then.
I just took it as the last stage of the day. If I make it, we're good. Day one done.
Happy with the day?
Yeah, really good. Had no majors, so just keep going for day two, man.
Awesome, mate. Well done.
Thanks.
After service, Robbie Stokes back on form, third on the power stage, back up to sixth.
And it's a great example of why you never give up in these longer two-day rallies.
Todd Borden dropping to seventh, but still a good start in the new car.
Yeah, still a lot of learning to do for Todd. Remember, his old car was a Mitsubishi Evo 6 that he was running in the early 2000s. This is quite a different beast.
And eighth place for Dylan Turner.
Yeah, for Dylan, this is great redemption. He's been out of the rally car for 12 months after that big accident here in 2021.
Mike Young had a mixed day, but 10th.
And what we're really starting to see from Mike is the potential he's promised from his international campaigns.
Claire Nexter leading home the Force Motorsport cars.
It's a great confidence-inspiring return for Glenn and Spencer. They've been out of rallying for a couple of years and really even longer before that. So to be fighting for the top 10 in the most competitive national championship going around is a pretty impressive return.
Duncan McCrosty not far behind in the second Mazda.
And for Duncan, second season, a bit more confidence, a bit more of throwing this car around. It really is bringing out the inner Andrew Hawkswood that this car loves. And new for Duncan this year too is Samantha Gray in the co-driver seat. She brings a lot of experience to this team.
After a difficult morning, Phil Campbell finding better pace in the afternoon.
And what a frustrating start for Phil. The car was not running properly in the morning and it really just saps your confidence. You can't throw a car into a fast corner without knowing if you've got that horsepower to pull you out the other side.
Third of the Force Motorsport team, Jack Hawkswood, probably a bit disappointed with his result.
It's been a tough day with a slipping clutch and a lot of development work that they're doing as they get used to this car.
And Brian Green proving age is no barrier on the Otago stages.
And he's just a man that loves rallying. It's great to see him back out there this year. He's been circuit racing over the summer. This is a man that really just has petrol flowing through his veins.
But a disappointing end for Kingsley Jones, who stopped for 20 minutes in the stage.
Yeah, Kingsley managed to find one of his favourite Otago culverts, which seems to be an annual thing down here. But this year he managed to get himself out. Unfortunately, he lost some 20 minutes. So at the end of day one, it's Hayden Patton who's dominated all day. But a great drive in that final stage from Ben Hunt. Just saw him leapfrog Emma Gilmore for second. Great to see Emma on the podium, Rana Hoare in a smart drive to fourth, and Ari Pettigrew rounding out the top five.
Day one also saw round one of the four-wheel drive rally challenge, with the early generation cars like this Subaru of Sean Haggerty running first on the road.
Sean was in top form until he literally lost his steering wheel.
Great, it's a 7 left. It's a 6 right.
No, that's a hell of a...
No steering. It's okay. Don't worry. No, you're right.
No steering.
Mark Pedersen, fifth of these first generation cars in his Subaru. Amy Keeler going really well, fourth in her second season in her H6 version of the old Subi.
And these H6 cars are a great concept. There's a few of them joined the championship this year. But they've been hugely successful throughout the Mainland Rally Championship in the last few seasons. And really what they are is just a great cost-effective way for people to fall in love with rally.
Despite a misfire on the opening stage, Simon Bell was third in this group in the oldest car. A big improvement for Chris Lockyer in the Evo 3.
This is Chris's first visit to Otago. He's just about through his first full season of rallying.
And the fastest in this group, Steve Cox, who was enjoying the extra pace of the Subaru after campaigning as Starlet over the past few seasons.
And for Steve, what a lineup of motorsport. Otago Rally one weekend. Then he flew out to Australia for the Bathurst 6 hour. That's one to tick off the bucket list.
Wayne Muckle lost 20 minutes on stage one on his Evo 10 and unable to get that time back over the day. Dave Ollis, fourth overall in his Subaru.
And while Dave's probably not the latest generation, it's great to see the latest generation of Subaru in the Rally Challenge class. This is the same model that we saw Ben Hunt campaign so successfully to that 2019 championship.
Bryn Smith had fought his way up to third after the lunch break and held that through the afternoon to be on the podium.
It's great to see one of the real nice guys at rallying, Bryn, getting himself some silverware.
And in just his second rally season, Dave Seaver's on the pace from the start in his Subaru to finish second.
And he's a builder by day. Dave's really laid down the foundations here for a cracking championship campaign.
A new car for Jeff Ward after his R2 Fiesta in 2021 and an immediate step up in pace to take the Rally Challenge victory.
And it was a great drive by Jeff that earned him the Dunlop drive of the rally. And having driven everything from cross cars to a Hillman Hunter with a V8 in it and back into the little 120 horsepower Ford Fiesta, it's great to see Jeff really clicking with the Subaru. So confirming, it was Jeff Ward taking a solid victory over Dave Seavers. Bryn Smith in third, just ahead of Steve Cox and Dave Ollis.
Jeff Ward, congratulations, mate. Rally Challenge winner here in Otago. How does that feel, mate?
Yeah, pretty stoked, really. We had a clean day, no scratches, no spins. With learning the car, first rally in the car, so really, really happy with how the car's gone and how our day went and the notes and everything, so really cool.
Another stunning day, but this time the stage is south of Dunedin, around Lake Waihola and the Taieri Hills. The NZRC drivers will compete for Day 2 bonus points, as well as the overall rally, which means there are 32 points up for grabs today to go with the 12 points that Hayden Patton earned on Day 1.
And that's some serious commitment. These roads today are still fast, but not quite as flat out as yesterday's that the competitors were on.
Patton fastest, but Robbie Stokes second.
And Robbie's obviously got some work to do to get back up to that overall podium, but this is a really good way to start the day. Unfortunately for Robbie on the third stage, a lot of that work went out the window.
All right, Greville, 60. We're almost there.
And I think they're referencing tyre wear there. This is the final stage in the loop. And look at that sunstrike, just to add to it. Oh, that's a big crunch. They'll be lucky to get out of that without much damage. And a tricky bit of road to turn round on too. It's narrow. There's a river on one side and a cliff face on the other.
Keep going. Minus 5 minus 7 left, 30. Split 7 left over 100.
Great speed by Emma Gilmore in stage 10, but she was carrying a 1-minute penalty after the team had to change a brake caliper at the start of the day.
And it's a mixed blessing, that one. Of course, it'd be best not to have a leaking caliper, but in the surface park is the best place to find it. If you have that in a stage, you lose your brakes and you have a big accident. So maybe that luck's turning for Emma. Although you can see just how hard she's having to work. This is the first forestry stage of the rally, and it's so slippery in amongst the pine needles.
Hunt in a good position, now running second on the road, so hopefully no more dust issues. But while he was too far back to catch Patton, Rana Horan was within striking distance in third.
And what's immediately noticeable in this first event, the new car, is just how different Ben is driving it. The Subaru, he was absolutely manhandling it to get it to do what he wanted, whereas the Skoda's a factory-built rally car, and it's absolutely responding to every input he makes.
Matt Summerfield retired on day 1, so his only hope today was to gain bonus points.
Yeah, good speed out of Matt today. We didn't see anything out of him yesterday because it was the first stage where his turbo blew. But he was within 3 seconds of Ben Hunt on both stages.
Ari Pettigrew had a fantastic start to the rally on the Saturday stages. Could he keep that up though?
He was equal to Summerfield's pace on stage 10, but just dropping down on stage 11. But let's not forget, this is very, very different to the two-wheel drive BMW he campaigned in 2021.
Rana Horan about 20 seconds off the pace over these stages, but he was still holding on to third place in the rally.
And again for Rana, this is his play it safe strategy really coming to the fore.
Todd Borden had patched up the Fiesta, which had improved the aerodynamics, 7th overall ahead of Dylan Turner. Turner teaming up with champion co-driver Jeff Crest this season.
Braking 7 right long, Tony.
While his former co-driver Malcolm Reed sitting with Mike Young in the Subaru.
And giving Mike some good advice here.
You've got it, 40.
Yes, 8 left short in.
That was a close one.
And turn it up. That was on board. Now check it out on the road. How would you feel? Glenn Inkster, once again the fastest of the Force Motorsport AP4 cars. Now this is the car that was built for Jack Hawkswood after his massive crash at Whangarei last year.
Unfortunately, this was the last we'd see of Glenn. The shiny silver Mazda. We go on board with teammate Duncan McCrosty here. Oh, it's not looking so shiny now, Brownie.
Brian Green also heading for an early shower on stage 10.
You useless prat.
I wouldn't go that far, Greenie.
Oh.
So after the first loop of day 2 stages, Padden extends his lead. And Hunt now a comfortable second ahead of Horan, and Emma Gilmore making up for those time penalties with Todd Borden and Ari Pettigrew right behind.
Yesterday probably underestimated, like it is for everyone, just how long it's been since we've all been rallying, and certainly probably took half a day to get back into a rhythm again. So today we've got started again how we left off yesterday, and feeling much better in the car, and everything's sort of clicking, and we're starting to tick a few of those records off now.
Yeah, I definitely feel a lot fresher today. It's the old car was definitely a lot of work, especially in the tighter stuff, and this thing, it's so responsive and turns in so well. So. It's turned in a fair few times quite early, but it's definitely awesome.
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect to have the pace we did yesterday. We weren't really pushing too hard, so it's good to see we've got the pace on those conditions. So yeah, looking forward to what the future holds.
Oh, look, she's been a tricky old day. First stage at Otago, first time here, so really pleased to be here. But the turbo itself is cracked off the manifold. If you just have a look down inside here, you can see the back of the turbo and look at it all moving around. It's not supposed to be doing that. Melted the back of the thing there. So, but we'll get the boys onto it. I don't think we'll have time to rejoin this afternoon, but this Panasonic AP4 is going really well today.
Welcome back to the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. This is Whare Flat Forest on the outskirts of Dunedin.
It's one of the best known and loved stages of the rally. It's so close to town it always draws a big crowd.
Ben Hunt on a mission now to secure second overall and second on day 2.
And by the time we get to the Repco Rally New Zealand at the end of the season, this is going to be a really intense battle between Hayden and Ben, both in R5 cars.
And this stage has been a happy hunting ground for Emma Gilmore. She previously held the stage record here and has lots of support from the locals as Dunedin's top rally driver.
And she'd fought back to 4th overall despite that 1-minute penalty and the car handling not being quite right in the second stage of the day in the forestry. As we near the end of this stage, she's about to get very lucky. The car snapping out there as the centre diff failed, but she was able to get through to the end of the stage.
Stage 15, as the rally stretched through the afternoon, Hayden Padden was stretching his lead.
And you can just see the guy is world class. He deserves that seat back in the World Rally Championship.
And Ben Hunt was just getting faster, opening up the gap to Rana Horan. A good performance too, though, by Rana Horan. Remember, this is an early model Skoda, so the performance down on the WRC2 version. Robbie Stokes impressive with his desire to keep going. The car patched up at service. He was second fastest on the stage and took 4th place off Emma Gilmore. And 5th place for Gilmore, but it could have been much worse. Seems like Lady Luck was sort of back on her side because all the issues were actually outside of the stage, which meant she could actually keep going on the rally.
And it's great to see some luck finally going her way. She's had a disastrous run. So it's great to finally see that turning around.
Stage 16, the Day 2 classification, had seen some real improvements in the field. Matt Summerfield taking 3rd and 3 precious bonus points after a disappointing Saturday. Todd Borden 6th for the day and admitting that he was on a steep learning curve with this car. Ari Pettigrew, 8th on Day 2 standings, but what a way to start your first full season at the top end of the NZRC. And Dylan Turner, 9th for the day, also a good boost for him after a season away. Jack Hawksbury will also be looking to make improvements to his Yaris, and his team will certainly have that under control. Kingsley Jones on a determined drive in the top 10 on stages that he's not actually a fan of, and looking forward to the twisty roads of round 2. Phil Campbell finishing just 2.4 seconds behind Hawkswood.
And it's been a frustrating rally for both of these guys. We know they've got enormous talent, and it's just been niggling problems that have held them back.
McCrosty 13th, but he's visibly a lot faster than his debut of this car in 2021.
It's great to see Duncan's confidence building. You can see it on board here. He is starting to move this car around more and more.
Mike Young lost 3 minutes in Whare Flat, which dropped him out of contention. But with upgrades to this car coming from Cusco in Japan, expect more from his team in round 2.
So those all-important Day 2 bonus points. 7 of them going to Hayden Padden, 5 for Ben Hunt in 2nd, 3 for Matt Summerfield in 3rd, 2 for Robbie Stokes in 4th, and Rana Horan taking the final bonus point in 5th.
Stage 17, so just Kuri Bush to run, and in the overall standings, Emma Gilmore would bring the Suzuki home in 5th place.
And it'll be a relief for Emma to be at the finish, but probably just a tinge of disappointment that those late problems have cost her a podium spot. A good building block for the rest of the championship.
Robbie Stokes taking 4th place on an eventful rally where the team never gave up.
And you can see he's pushing right to the last second. It's been a great recovery drive from Robbie on Day 2 despite its issues.
Third place for Rana Horan, steady through the day, holding off Stokes by 10 seconds in the end.
And this will be a huge confidence boost for Rana. He's been here twice, and one of them he rolled on the first stage. So this will be a happy memory to take away from Otago.
Now, the win may have eluded Ben Hunt, but what a performance by the Auckland driver in second.
Yeah, this is a fantastic sign of things to come for Ben. Brand new car, only drove it a couple of weeks before the first round. Things are only going to step up from here.
Ben, you're all smiles. Obviously, dream debut in this car, second overall. Rally Otago must be very pleased.
Yeah, no, it's an awesome result. You know, the car's only been here for 3 weeks, so, you know, everyone, you know, including sign riders and videographers and everyone have put in a lot of effort to get the car ready. I haven't really seen my wife or my little 1-year-old girl for 3 weeks, but that's the price we pay. And yeah, it's been an awesome weekend, and you know, Tony and I are just growing in the car, and yeah, a lot to learn still, but no, it's so much fun to drive.
I've got to ask you, mate, $1 million question. How much more have you got in this, do you think, once you really get to speed with it?
Well, that was the first run, so my guess is as good as yours.
All right, I've got a feeling you know more than I do, but well done.
Okay, right line 30.
And in the end, Hayden Padden only beaten on one stage and finished off with a new stage record here on Kuri Bush.
And this really is just the best expression over the world's best roller coaster.
This opens 30, old Max 6 left over crest opens, long tightens, tucked down very fast 5, 60, flat 6 right plus over crest, 100, down half, 5 right open, straightens.
That really just shows why Hayden Padden is world class, phenomenal.
Hayden, congratulations. Got to the end, safely securing victory here at Rally Otago, and stage record, I think, to finish as well.
Yeah, today's been a really good day. Obviously yesterday was a bit tough going to get the season started, but we sort of got back into a groove today, and everything's feeling really good, and a few compromises, but yeah, all in all, really happy. The team done an awesome job. John's amazing in the car as per normal, so yeah, enjoyed it through here. It's actually a bit boring to drive like this because it's no gravel on it. It's like tarmac, and you just can't slide the car, you can't unsettle, you just got to pick your line. So not quite as much fun, but still good.
All right, perfect way to start the season too, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully we can carry this forward.
All right, mate, good luck. Thanks.
Well, he's a hard man to please, but he'll be quite happy with a maximum score to take away from Rally Otago. A fantastic victory. Ben Hunt will be equally stoked in second. Rana Horan, Robbie Stokes, Emma Gilmore, Todd Borden, Ari Pettigrew and Dylan Turner all recording great results, shaping up for a fantastic 2022 championship battle.
Next up, we head north to Rally Whangarei. 2 days on the northern roads, new stage configurations and plenty of spectator spots. So check out the website and make plans to get up there. It all starts Friday night, May 13 to Sunday, May 15.